translation. So we will see about what's the importance of learning language in the translation field. So this is actually derived or recite from Mildred Larson's book. So he discussed, specifically for the meaning, in translation. So as we have known from the previous meetings, so we have known some of definitions stated by the experts of in the translation field. So again, from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the company stated that translation consists of changing from one state or form to another. Mean one state, the word, okay, to turn into one or another language. So there will be source and there will be target, SLT, source language text, and target language text. And again, you see here from Catford also, and Nydia and Newmark, they mentioned that the translation and the replacement, the production, and also the temptation to transfer the same meaning into another language. Okay, so they have a similar definition, means that even though they have different words in their definition, but generally the main goal is the same. Okay. Okay, so I will skip this. This is still about translation definition. Yes. Okay, so generally translation is the transfer of meaning. So remember, meaning, we have to transfer the meaning, not the structure. The transfer of meaning contained in one set of language signs into another set of language signs through competent use of the dictionary and grammar. And here they said that we have to use dictionary. Yeah. And then the process of translation involves a whole set of extra linguistic criteria. So it means that you may maybe you are learning now about linguistics such as morphology, phonology, etc. But this is a set of extra linguistic criteria also. Means that we study about uh, the situation, the pragmatics one. I mean, where the communication takes place, and when, and what is the condition between while the between speakers are speaking to each other. So that's called extra linguistic criteria. Mainly we talk about linguistics and intralinguistics. Linguistics means that the words, the morpheme, but intra means the way someone speak, or the mode, the emotion, such as the tone, the intonation. But extra linguistic criteria is beyond those two fields of linguistics. So extra linguistic criteria means that we have to learn about the communication condition, the pragmatics one. So we have to learn about settings, and where and when, the communication takes place. So translation is not only learning about the glossaries, but we also learn about the culture. Culture means in the culture we have to study, we must know about extra linguistic criteria, as I told you just now. So who linguistics field, intra and extra, we have to put while we translate a text. Okay, and then we go on to yeah why someone learns language, especially in translation field, because language consists of two things that we have to put in mind. There is a form and also there is a meaning. So in form, we can say this is also related to the structure, the form. Yeah. So the form contains words, phrases, clauses, sentences, paragraphs. While we are studying about syntactic, we learn about forms, how to put together some words into a good sentence. That's called the form. Okay. Usually we call it grammar or structure. And uh, besides a form, we learn also the meaning. Okay, the meaning it's the same with ideas, the thoughts. So both these have to study while we are studying translation. Okay, and the next, yeah, this is still the same explanation. Form is the surface or structure of the language. Meaning means the deeper structure of the language. Okay, so while we when we study about form, this is called syntactic, yeah, syntax, and when we study about meaning, that is called semantics. Okay. Guys, can you see my screen clearly? If not, I will make it into. Can I make it into slideshow? Last week it didn't work if I make it into slideshow. Can you see it clearly still? Bisa nggak? Masih bisa lihat teksnya nggak sekecil ini?
Bisa, Sir. Bisa. Cuma agak
Bisa.
kecil.
Gimana ya? Kalau kita coba ya, I'm trying to play this one. Okay, let me try to scroll down. Can you see it? The cultural matters. The topic is cultural matters. Can you?
Yes. Yes,
And
sir.
if I scroll down again, can you see the bigger writings? Only the form changes. Can you?
Yes, sir. Bisa.
Okay, it works. Thank you. Okay, language and culture. As I told you, as I said just now, why someone's or a translator has to study about culture. Because language and culture, these two things have it relates in each other. Okay. Edward Sapir in linguistics field said, language is a guide to society reality, and that human beings are the mercy, or we have to be thankful because there is a language in our life. Because without a language, we can't communicate well. Okay. In reality, no two languages are ever sufficiently similar to be considered as representing the same social reality. The words in which different societies live are distinct words, not merely the same word with different level attached. Means that we have so many social groups, and a social group has their own language. I mean, it's like a community has a community language, and yeah, the people who live in a remote area is very different. They have different language with from the people who live in the city or a suburban area. So this is called language and culture. These two things have, I mean, have similarities and have differences. Means that similarity because when we talk about culture, culture reproduces a language because the language is the production of the culture, and the culture is the production of the human beings. Okay, so it relates into another's, guys. Okay, so we don't put aside like language it stands itself and like culture stands itself. No, they are related into others. Okay, and then yeah, why we need to study about culture? Because when we study a language, we study about the people and the cultures. Okay, for example, when we study about Finnish or Finland, okay, in Finland we okay, the culture is mostly related to the snow, and Arabian, they tend to their culture is mostly about the camels, and in English, okay, light and water. These two things is commonly related to their culture, and in French, okay, they tend okay. Well, other countries people tend to see that French is I mean, mostly known from their brand. Okay, and in Japan also, this is about cultures, guys. Okay, that's why in each country has different language and also different cultures. And in Japan, while we are translating cross culture understanding, in Japan is mostly known by their social status. Yeah, and in African, it's like the culture in the daily life. When someone puts the food in front of other person's door, means that they want to share the food. Yeah, they want to share the meals. Okay, okay. So yeah, as I told you just now, yeah, learning language is also learning about the cultures. Okay, because while we translate a text, the meaning, yeah, maybe not the primary meaning but the secondary meaning. The secondary meaning is related to the culture. Okay, okay. In semantic structure, but how is this change accomplished? What determines the choices of form in translation? While we are learning about semantic structure. So this is yeah, we have to study about the connotative and denotative meaning. So they are very different, yeah, because denote and connote, yeah, it means that yeah, they have primary and secondary meaning, as I told you just now. So we have to learn also about semantic while we are studying translation. Okay, we have talked about this several meetings ago. Yeah, this is the process of translation. Okay, we have to skip this. Yeah, this is also, I have to skip this. I have told you about this. Okay. Yeah, how someone makes his translation as best as he can. Okay, as the experts of translation in the translation field, they generally say that a good or the best translation, if the translators uh, use the normal language, okay, in their translation result, and the translation result communicates as much as possible to the reader, yeah, to the reader of the text, yeah, means that communicates the same meaning. So the readers of the text will be feel that yeah, it is a text that written from the native speaker of the language. Okay, and for our best translation, we have to, or the translation maintains or preserves the dynamics of the original result. Means that, as I have explained about dynamics and dynamics means idiomatic translation. Dynamics means that it's not yeah, it sounds natural. Okay, when you, yeah, this is a very simple example. When you translate you into anda, you know that the translation is not kamu, because you know that the dialogue or the speaker is talking to a boss or to a higher level of his in the office, or she or he talks to the professor. So in bahasa Indonesia we translate into anda, not kamu. So that's dynamics. Yeah, we don't translate statively you into kamu, 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 and kamu, but sometimes we translate into anda, pak, bu, and etc. So we have to be dynamics in our translation. So we have to see the context of the where the conversation takes place, or which diction that she or he uses in the conversation. So we have to be dynamics means that we have to see the context. Okay. Yeah, in translation, as I told you just now, we have to learn about language, because in language you have to know about the meanings of components. Meaning of components means that we see in linguistics, we learn about morphemes and lexical items, the glossaries in the dictionaries. Why do we have to study about the lexical or the morphemes? Because the word, for example, the word read is not only to translate, it's not only translated into membaca. Okay, so sometimes read we can translate into memahami. Okay, so the word can in English we can translate it into many words in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, so specifically morpheme and lexical items, we in this uh, discussion, I put the example of using as, yeah, as the letter S or the bound morpheme S is used to make a plural nouns or a plural not plural, singular verbs. For example, if the subject is she, he, it, or Maria, Naomi, Charlie, and etc. If we are making a simple present tense, we have to put s or es after the verb one. So that's called uh, plurality. And then while we study about meaning components, we study about the word. As I told you just now, maybe a word is translated into many words in other language. The word can be translated into kaleng, mengalengkan, dapat, bisa, mampu in bahasa Indonesia. So there are so many words in the translation of the word can. Okay, so we have to study about the morpheme and the meaning of the word. And why do I have to study about the language in translation? Because we study about the meaning. And the second one, the same meaning component occur in several service structural lexical items, means that, for example, sheep in English, there are so many. In bahasa Indonesia we only translate into sapi. Yeah, even though the same meaning is in general is not a very different, because lamb, this is the young sheep, and adult and male sheep we call it ram, and female and adult sheep we call ewe. But in general, sheep is translated in bahasa Indonesia into sapi, right? But in English, the source language text, yeah, the native speaker of English, they have the specific meaning for the sheep. Okay, so they have three words, yeah, for the okay, the meaning of sheep: lamb, ram, ewe. But in bahasa Indonesia, we only translate into one word. Okay, so the same meaning, yeah, three words. These three words have the same meaning, yeah, but in several surfaces in English. So that is why we need to study about the language, yeah, especially in the semantics. Okay, this is also the same example. In Huambisa, or the Peruvian's language, the word lamb, yeah, they also tend to have different explanations. Lamb means that a child of sheep, ram a male big sheep, and ewe is a female big sheep. So they have the similar thoughts with English, but in bahasa Indonesia, we just translate it into domba, right? Domba, is it lamb, domba, or sapi? Okay, yeah. In language also, while we are studying about the word, yeah, the same form service structure represents several alternate meanings or deep structure. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, last week I talked about this. Okay, the examples. The word run, if the word run is okay, is okay. I mean, we put the word run into different words, as you see from the four sentences on your monitor. They have the same or not the different translation. For example, the river runs here is translated into mengalir, guys. But the second sentence is nose runs. The second translation of run is meller, guys. Okay. But for the third sentence, the motor runs means mesinnya bekerja. Okay. And the clock runs means jam itu berdentang. Okay, so the word run is translated into four words in bahasa Indonesia related to the use of other words in the sentences. So this is the different subject, and the predicate is the same, runs, but the subject is different and the meaning is also different. Okay, this is called primary meaning if we translate run into berlari. The boy runs. If we translate into laki-laki itu berlari, that's the primary meaning, berlari. But if we translate run into mengalir, meler, berdetak, bekerja, they are called secondary meaning. So from my explanation, I guarantee that you have understand about the primary and secondary meaning. Okay. Yeah. While we are studying about language, we have also okay. We study about also that the same grammatical pattern may express different meanings. As yeah, this is the example of the use of possessive pronoun my. For example, my house may mean as follows. Yeah. Therefore, okay, in my mind, while someone says my house, in my mind or someone's mind, they think that maybe the first one that she thought is, or the first thing comes to his mind or her mind is the house that he or she rents. Okay. Or the second thought that the house she lives or he lives in. Or the third meaning, the house she built or the house he built. And my house also has the same meaning, the house for which I drew up the plans, the place that I work, the place that I manage some things. Yeah. So the word my or the phrase my house have different translations, guys, here. Okay. Yeah. So that's why we are studying language while we are studying about translation. Okay, because larger context determines the meaning. So this is means larger context. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is also the possessive pronoun my. My, if the word my or possessive pronoun, possessive adjective pronoun is followed by different nouns, guys, they have also different translation. For example, if I say my car, I can say my here is the ownership. I own the car. But my brother is not the ownership because I don't own my brother. God owns it. God owns my brother, not me, not I. But my here, it relates to the kinship, persaudaraan, not the ownership. And this phrase, the third phrase for using my food is a part of my body, guys. Okay. My sing means that yeah, I'm singing. I'm the singer. I'm the actor of the singing activity. So my sing means my sing explains about the activity, yeah, of singing that I do. My book, it relates to the ownership or authorship. If you say my here is the ownership, that you own the book, you have the book, you buy it by yourself, you buy it by your money. Okay. But if you say my book relates to authorship, that you wrote the book, you are the writer, you are the author of the book. So it's very different, the word my here. Okay. And if you say my village, the village is not yours. If it relates to the ownership, it's not the ownership or kinship or part of your body or the authorship, but it is related to the residence, yeah, the village where you live, where I live. And if you say my train, the word my explains about the usage, the use, that the I mean the device that I use to go. So my. So the same possessive adjective pronoun my, but is followed by different noun. They have different translation. Okay, so this is the uniqueness of learning language. And also here, guys, they use preposition, yeah. Okay, even though they have the same preposition, the one, two, three, the four sentences, but they have different meaning. For example, the first sentence: John found a book on the floor. On means the place, I mean the position of the where you found the book. Okay, but in the second sentence, John found a book on mathematics. On is not the position, but the field of study. And the third sentence, John found a book on Tuesday. On here means that the time, not the place, not the field. And the fourth, John found a book on sale. On is not the position, but on means that an event. Okay. And those two sentences also, even though they have the same preposition using by, but they have different meanings. For example, when you hear a sentence, John was stopped by the policeman. By means here, the action is done by, or the actor who stopped uh, the policeman, the agent of the action. But the second sentence, John stopped by the bookstand. By means not the action, but the location. So this is the uniqueness of language. I told you just now. We have to learn as much as best as we can while we translate a text. We also the time for us is only studying about the lexical items, the morphemes. Yeah, we cannot translate into the same meaning. Yeah, so it relates to where as I told you just now, the extra linguistics, the intralinguistics, and the linguistics. We have to okay, to put one into another because those repeats relates to into another. Okay, and yeah, in rhetorical language, rhetorical means keindahan berbahasa, and in the translation process later on, if you want to be a translator, And maybe you have to change the form. For example, the form of sentence in the question form, maybe the question is not specifically a question, but it can be asking for information, it can be giving a command, it can be giving a suggestion. For example, like this, if you hear this dialogue or this sentence, Mary, why don't you wash the dishes? Means that maybe her mom wants her to ask her to wash the dishes. That's a command. Yeah, okay, her mom wants to give a command, or her mom wants to give just a suggestion, not a comment. Okay, or maybe her mom wants to have a reason why. Okay, so asking for information, why Mary doesn't wash dishes, why, what's the reason? So that's asking for information, not a comment, not a comment or not a suggestion. Okay, yeah. And yeah, a verb may have several meanings. Yeah, maybe I will skip this. And this is also, guys, there are so many examples. Yeah, these examples that relates to each other means that, as I told you just now, the meaning or the meaning that we have to put in our mind while we translate the text mean that while we transfer the meaning, we also uh, think about extra or the intralinguistic sides. Okay, so that while we translate the text, the translation result will be as natural, as closely equivalent meaning with the target read of text. Okay, so I'm telling you, these all are all only the examples why we'll learn about linguistics. Okay, and this is also why we need to learn about grammar or meaning. Okay, because different service structure may have the same meaning. For example, like this, while you want to say in bahasa Indonesia, the meaning is you want to ask, is the seat is taken, means that you want to sit on the chair or the seat. Okay, you can say, is this place taken? Is there anyone sitting here, or may I sit here? Yeah. So these three sentences ha have the same, I mean the same goal, guys. Means that you want to sit on the chair, on the seat. Okay. So they have different structure but the same meaning. And the following examples also, the meaning is essentially the same in the following sentences. For example, others blame John because of the difficulty. It has the same meaning with others blame John for the difficulty. So we have different structures, but these all these sentences have the same meaning, the same goal. Okay, yeah. Okay, correlation between form and meaning. Yeah, it's only like this. An easy translation is if the word has one-to-one correlation, means that the word has the equivalent word in the target language. But if the word doesn't have an equivalent word in the target language, that's called skewing. Skewing means that yeah, it doesn't have a one-to-one correlation. For example, cultural words. If we translate pizza into bahasa Indonesia, we don't have any equivalent word for pizza. If English man translate, for example, gapura into, or gazebo into English, they don't have any equivalent word for translating gazebo. So that's called skewing. If a word doesn't have one-to-one correlation in the target language. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you see the monitor. See you the next meeting. So because this is also for Muslim people to prayer, so let me close my presentation for today. I need maybe some comments or critics. Please, if you have any comments, please speak up directly. I will stop my presentation. Guys, please open up the camera. I want to take a documentation. Mulai minggu depan berarti kalian yang bekerja ya. Maybe I will give you a text to translate. Jadi teorinya cukup dulu, nanti kita lanjut teorinya di minggu-minggu berikutnya. Atau maybe I have as a shock therapy, maybe I'll ask you some questions related to the topic that we have discussed. Jadi itu namanya pengambilan nilai yang tidak disangka-sangka ya. So just prepare yourself to understand all the explanation that I have explained to you. Guys, please open up the camera. Have you all? Masih 4 orang. Yang lain? Could you please? Clara, ini udah pertemuan keberapa? Lupa ya? Kelima ya?
Halo?
Kelima?
Ya, iya, Sir. Iya, Sir.
Oh, nggak kerasa ya? Saya pikir masih pertemuan ketiga. Oke. Yang lain nggak ada yang buka kamera, ya udah nggak apa-apa. Kalau kalian sombong, saya juga akan sombong nanti. Saya screenshot dulu nama-namanya ya. Nanti fotonya. Oke, yang ada saja. I'm counting into 3. Please give your best smile. 1, 2, 3. Go. Atau mungkin kalian lagi koneksinya lagi nggak bagus ya. I have to think positively guys, but sometimes terlalu berpikir positif juga kadang-kadang mahasiswa salah menilai, ya kan? Seperti lagu Jangan Salah Menilaiku. Sekali lagi ya, sebentar ya. Simpan dulu di box kalian. Sekali lagi. One more shot. 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you so much. Oke. Ada yang mau melanjutkan diskusi kita atau mau mengajari saya hal-hal yang berbeda mungkin? Tuh kan, langsung pada pamit deh. Aduh, kalian ini macam saya nggak habis data saja. Kalian terlalu mengirit. Ya sudahlah, nggak selesai lah ini, nggak ada yang jawab. Kalian ada pertanyaan? Nggak ada yang jawab soalnya.
Sejauh ini sepertinya belum, Sir.
Ah, gitu dong. Kamu kamu itu maksudnya semuanya. Jadi satu aja yang menjawab itu sudah represents you. Jadi terima kasih yang sudah menjawab tadi. Lupa saya. Siapa tadi namanya? Nggak terlihat.
Anda, Sir.
Amanda. Iya, Amanda ini selalu aktif kalau saya ya. Aktif bertanya, aktif menjawab. Ini ciri-ciri orang cepat lulus ini. Amin. Ya, thank you. Jadi Amanda, karena kamu saya puji, jadi kamulah yang membawa doa penutup ya. Yuk.
Iya benar. Teman-teman, dan mari kita bersatu dalam doa. Good afternoon, Jesus. Thank you for blessing me in our class. Today, we want to do our activity. Please bless each of us to doing our next activity until the end of this day. Thank you, Jesus. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Amanda, and thank you all as I'll always love you. Bye. Mwah.
Thank you,
You
sir.
can leave my class now.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you.
See you next week, sir. God bless you, sir.
God bless you too.